Christians may well be the most persecuted religious group on the planet. They number some 2.2 billion people, and harassment can range from loss of life to loss of livelihood. It goes back to the time of Jesus and his disciples, but is increasing rapidly in this new century.
Either from the government or from the societies in which they find themselves.
Now, the ISIS video appears to show 21 hostages being killed. The victims were Coptic Christian. Tonight, KCAL 9 Orange County reporter Stacy Butler has local reaction to the killings.
Executed for one reason.
Because they were Christian.
Tonight, this Coptic Christian priest in Anaheim says he's praying not only for the victims' families.
We actually pray for the perpetrators that did this.
As a video released yesterday by Libyan militants with loyalty to ISIS claims to show the mass beheading of 21 Coptic Christian men from Egypt.
For years, Middle East Christians lived under the protection of longtime dictators. The so-called Arab Spring ended that with the overthrow of regimes like Egypt's Hosni Mubarak.
About 2/3 of the Christians in Iraq have already left.
In Saudi Arabia, most Christians are foreign workers. No churches are allowed, and Shea says the government is even hunting down people who pray in their homes. Shea says it's not just the Middle East.
There is a radicalization of Islam going on throughout the world, and this is having an impact on the tolerance that there is for non-Muslims.
Those countries include Nigeria, North Korea, China, Vietnam, and Pakistan. Yet this widespread persecution is largely ignored by the mainstream media. A rare exception is this Newsweek article by Ayaan Hirsi Ali, described as a Somali Dutch feminist, writer, and politician. But she writes, in fact, a wholly different kind of war is underway, an unrecognized battle costing thousands of lives. Christians are being killed in the Islamic world because of their religion. It is a rising genocide that ought to provoke global alarm.
They sing Baby Jesus is sleeping in the hay. To us, they look like children performing for their congregation. But to the Chinese authorities, they are criminals. Because this is an underground house church, so called because they meet without state approval. When Mao Zedong took power, he banned religion. Communism was the new faith. These days, the state allows churches, but worshipers must register with police. And yet, look at the faces. So many young people, even here.
They've grown up in a society where the moral imperative is make money and get ahead.
People here are discovering perhaps a simple truth, that money alone isn't bringing happiness. So hundreds of millions of Chinese, their numbers growing every day, are seeking something more. So even traditional Eastern religions like Buddhism are flourishing again, but none like the underground Christians. In this village, they were even building their own church until, as this cell phone video shows, the authorities knocked it down.
Umar Sankaracharya is a top leader of Bajrang Dal, a Hindu extremist group that often uses violence against Christians and other minority faith groups.
We will get all Hindus together, the whole Hindu nation, and whoever stands against the rights of Hindus, we will finish them.
In an effort to counter the spread of Christianity, Orissa and several other Indian states have laws that require people to get permission before they can change their religion. On a recent Tuesday morning, a group of Christian villagers stood in the ruins of their church and sang of their commitment to the faith and a determination to pray for those who've carried out these acts of terror.
If you're caught as a Christian in North Korea, say simply leading a Bible study or even owning a Bible, you can be thrown into a labor camp that is exactly like the old Soviet Union's gulag, where people are literally worked to death.
What's surprising is how little you hear about this here in the West. Some blame it on the elites that control the media and educational institutions.
Dit is Mercy, net nadat ze ontsnapte uit de gevangenkamp van Boko Haram. Ze zat gevangen omdat ze christen is. Mercy staat symbool voor 1 op de 11 christenen die wordt vervolgd. 1 op de 11. Dat zijn er bij elkaar 215 miljoen. Bijbel lezen, naar de kerk gaan, een Facebook-post met een Bijbeltekst plaatsen. Het maakt niet uit hoe je je geloof uit. Je moet een prijs betalen. Net als Mercy.